Jai Hind. Today, I have the privilege of hosting Madam Anita Bose Pfaff uh, because it is always my privilege that uh, Anita ma'am agrees to come on my show. Uh, Today is the birthday of Netaji Subhas Chandra Bose, and ma'am, I must tell you, people of my age and the people who are born before 80, I can say, their first hero in India is always Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose. Then, as we grow up, then we also understand that there are more people who contributed to the independence of the country. But initial days, my school days, uh, when we were growing up, Netaji was always someone who always inspire any one of us. Anitaji, first of all, it is a long time. We have talked on this again and again, but we must remember and his Jai Hind, because today, even how you welcome, what you say is also important. And I came to know that this Jai Hind uh, welcome was introduced by one of Netaji's very close follow. I will not say follower, his friend Abid Hussain or Hassan, and he said when Netaji said there should be we must have our own war cry or something. He said he introduced Jai Hind, and then Netaji started using Jai Hind. A small reaction on that. It's a long time. Your first reaction on Netaji's birthday, Anita ma'am.
I'm always very moved to realize that after such a long time, I mean, after all 80 years or more than 80 years that my father has passed away, even after all these years, there are so many Indians who remember him and not only remember him sort of as a vague historical figure, but remember him with great affection, even, not only respect. And I think this is a great tribute to my father. And also, I mean, the idea that we remember other freedom fighters as well is a tribute to all of them because all these men and women were dedicating their life and everything very selflessly to India's future and India's future as an independent state. And I think we cannot appreciate that enough, realizing what they have given.
Okay. Uh, and then, ma'am, the very unique thing of Netaji was that he was very forthright in expressing his views. But on the same hand, he was always giving the respect to other views also, because he and Gandhiji was in constant exchange of letters, talking to each other. They may not be on the same page, but they were always exchanging views, giving respect, giving space to each one. Which why I am raising this issue is uh, today people make it as something that they were two different people. What I feel is the biggest thing of Netaji was, which in my opinion, was he was expressing himself, expressing the way he feels that this is the route for independence, and also agreeing to what someone else is telling. I will. Is it? Don't you think that this is somehow missing? Not only in India, it is missing throughout the world. We don't respect your view. You don't respect my view. That thing is missing somehow, and that is the core of the problem today. What I feel is, Anita ma'am.
I quite agree with you that the mutual respect that people ought to pay each other, um, not only if they agree on matters, but also if, particularly if they do not agree on matters, is most important. And I think this has unfortunately, um, I wouldn't say been lost altogether, but I think there are too many people, also well-known people, who do not um, behave themselves properly, I would
Yes,
say.
yes, yes. And then, ma'am, one more thing. I mean, which I always feel, Netaji, when he was there in Rangoon, he went to the tomb of the last Mughal emperor Bahadur Shah Zafar,
Mhm.
who was not a very. I mean, we don't remember him as a very bright Mughal emperor, but he was the last Mughal emperor. Netaji gave a guard of honor, gave a lot of money for upkeep of his tomb.
Mhm.
But somehow, presently, we feel that that 300 years of Mughal rule in India was not an Indian rule. But Netaji always said that this Mughal rule was a continuity of, he was, I mean, the Mughals were Indian, and that is why the Guard of Honor was given. And he always addressed Bahadur Shah Zafar as the last emperor of India. And then he always thought that the rule by the Britishers was something which we must, I mean, that the whole campaign and the whole uh, thing was against the rule of Britishers. I would also like to a small reaction on this. Netaji always thought this was a continuity. It was an Indian ruler, good, ugly, bad. Whether he lost, he was good or bad, but he gave his respect to Bahadur Shah Zafar, which is important for me.
There was, of course, one important difference between the Mughal rule and the British rule. The British were sort of absentee landlords, whereas the Mughals came to India and made India their home, and in that sense, they became Indian. And it was a merger of different cultures, and I think this is one of the very special and specific uh, cultural achievements of India. I would say that you have a merger of all the major religions, or most of the major religions in India. We have people of many different creeds living together, and that this also formed a very sort of diverse but very unique culture in India.
Yes. And another one, the one very sensitive and a very personal thing, we all feel, and for last, whenever, I mean, for last 10, 15, 20 years, when we grow up, we understood things. Uh, I fail to understand whatever is the thing, why we are not bringing the ashes of Netaji in India. I mean, I don't have an answer. If you have some insight on that, why we are not bringing Netaji's ashes in India. If you have some knowledge on that, if you can give us some insight.
I can understand that in the past, the Indian governments, for the most part, were a bit hesitant to touch the issue because we have to consider the historical setting of the time. When my father passed away, um, of course, the news media were not as immediate and active as they are nowadays. Nowadays, you would have everything on a video immediately and spread the news around the world. Whereas at that time, it took time till news got around. And of course, on top of that technical part, it was the end of the Second World War in the Eastern theater of war. And so that also caused an additional upheaval. So it was not surprising that in the beginning there were some people most interested to know whether he had indeed died or not. But it took time to get around, and some people sort of kept the information a secret for their own purpose. So in the beginning, I would say for about 10 years or so, there was no certainty because the investigations into my father's death had not been published. But as time passed, I think it became very obvious that indeed he did die in 1945. And but there were still people hoping that he might yet have survived again, and so this became a controversial issue. And I think from a politician's point of view, you wouldn't want to touch an issue where you are not certain that you are very likely to gain from it. And this was an issue where you couldn't be certain that you would get the support of people on it, or that there would be other people say, "Oh, what are you doing? You're maligning Netaji or whatever." So I think this took a long time, and that's why the governments didn't touch it. And after all, I mean, my father was a public figure not only in India during the Congress movement, but also in Japan. And I think there is no way but an official welcome by an Indian government. It's not a question that I could go to Japan and demand to be given custody of my father's remains and take them to India as a private person. I think we have to consider that Japan, and particularly the priests of Renkochi Temple, have paid their tribute to
Yes.
my father for so many years. Um, uh, I think this effort has to be respected, and that can only be done in an official um, gesture by government.
Yes, and the ma'am, matlab, what I have learned from Japan, they are very keen to send these ashes in a very respectful. They say we will send a
Yeah.
fleet where that I mean, in the right way, the way Netaji should have gone. Netaji will come to India, and Anta ma'am, you might be the biological daughter of Netaji, but we all feel that he was part of us. We
Very much so.
we
My father was not only a Bose, not only a Bengali, he considered himself a son of India. And so it was not our biological family that can claim him, but he claimed India as his family, and I think we certainly have to view him in that form.
Yes, because I will just share a small incident. My father went for that Haripura Congress where Netaji was being re-elected as the second term of Congress president. He was running high temperature. And my father tells, I mean, my father is no more. We lost him about 20-25 years back. He said he was something more than a hero. It is very difficult for someone to understand at this point of time
Mm.
that people were mad when Netaji was coming on he came because he was running very high temperature. He came, so people were mad for that, just to have a look of Netaji. I've come to a closing part of it, Anta ma'am. I would always request that, because our next generation must have the continuity of the privilege of having Netaji's, I mean, you and then the next generation, uh, as any time of maybe after 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, whatever time is convenient, you will be obliged and privileged if your son or daughter is also, we are able to introduce to the people of India that they are the, because Netaji will always be there till we understand the history of India will be there. Netaji's contribution, our respect, our love for Netaji will always remain there. So with this, we request you that whenever it is possible, please bring them for one show. We will be we will be grateful. And Anta man, in the last, I must share with you uh, that Subhashni Ali ji, I talked to her yesterday. Uh, I mean, his father, mother both worked with Netaji. Anil Jahan, all these people. We are also thinking of having a conference in Berlin, where we want that this Netaji's thing should be, because there are a lot of misinformation is also being circulated, that there was the relationship between Netaji and Gandhi, all these things. And today it is, we feel that this is important for all of us. We went to America, we did the conference on that. Now we are planning, let's see, I mean, once it is finalized, we will let you know, give you the details, with a request if you can spare some time in Berlin. Let's see. And in the end, again, the Jahin, and thanks so much for joining, Anita ma'am.
Jai Hind, and all the best to you and to Netaji's followers in India and around the world.
I will say his family. I mean, Netaji and Netaji's family, because we are part of that family. We always feel. Thank you.